Sup you nerds, Fallout here, and today I want to talk about XP farming in general and tips on grinding up your seasonal artifact. Because the pinnacle grind to 960 is so mind-numbingly insane, I think a lot of people are resorting to XP grinding in between, trying to grab some dank pinnacle gear. Which makes a lot of sense, I'm in the same boat, don't you know? But while you're pinnacle grinding, which of course is super important, you can still try to do your best to optimize your XP gains along the way, making sure you're getting the absolute most out of everything that you do in-game. Before we get going, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. Have you been banging your head against a wall, trying to beat raids with LFG blueberries who eat Cheetos loudly and vape on the mic? Well then, it's time to try out Raid Shadow Legends, boys. Raid is a turn-based RPG game for your mobile device. In other words, shut out the world around you like a true gamer and dive into play wherever and whenever you want. The game is pretty dang popular, 15 million downloads in the last 6 months alone. So what exactly is Raid? It's a hero collection turn-based game with over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize. Wait a minute, is that dude's name Jotun? Sweet mother of God. They've got big plans for updates in the game for over 6 months, as you can tell by their detailed roadmap. There's practically infinite content for you to enjoy. We ain't got time to get bored out here. There's already a new faction, a tag team arena feature, and even a new clan boss you can fight with your clanmates. With weekly tournaments and events, fighting in the arena, running special dungeons, or just leveling up your heroes, there's always a way to compete and win prizes every week. So go down to the video description, click on the special links, and you'll get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as a part of the new player program to start your journey. Big thank you again to Raid for sponsoring this video. Alright, onwards with the joys of XP grinding. There are a lot of XP farming methods out there. Richard Cactus actually put out a video recently, which I thought was pretty well organized. He essentially talked about which XP methods to prioritize week to week, mentioning that weekly bounties give by far the most experience, which is true, they do, followed by dailies, and then additional reacquirable bounties. Here's where I want to jump in, because I want to make sure that people are maximizing their experience gains when grinding. I think it's in everyone's best interest to get their artifact ranked up as high as they can, and by not doing these very simple things, Guardians out there are missing out on free XP real estate, and that's not okay. The first thing I want to talk about is Wellrested. You know, that thing I never am in real life. The Wellrested buff has changed in year 3 of D2 if you didn't already know. What it does right now is give you a ×2 buff to your first 5 season rank gains that week, which is shared across all of your characters. So when you reach the point of endgame level XP grinding and you're well beyond season 100 rank, the Wellrested buff will no longer mean anything to you, but it's at least worth mentioning for all the folks out there who are under season rank 100 at the moment. If your game plan is to do as much grinding as humanly possible in 1 week, and you plan on doing all your weeklies, all your dailies, all your everything, then you don't really need to think too much about Wellrested, because it's going to apply itself and help you out no matter what. The only people who really will need to optimize their Wellrested time are Guardians out there who don't have a lot of time to grind week to week. Let's say you're a father of 6 who is already really behind in Shadowkeep, and you only have 3 hours to play D2 this whole week because you gotta pay bills, go on a business trip, teach your kids how to read, and do other unimportant non-gaming activities. Well, you would benefit from thinking exactly how you would want to take the most advantage of your Wellrested buff. If you have super limited time, consider maybe doing as many weeklies as you can right up front under the benefit of Wellrested, so you can double your XP gain on the biggest XP giving bounties right away, and then go back to making sure that your kid knows their multiplication tables. The next thing I want to talk about is the Shared Wisdom modifier, which is a buff granted by the Small Fireteam XP boost perks that you continuously unlock on your seasonal rank. This perk improves any Fireteam member's XP gains by 2%, and yes, each one of those will stack. This is not to be confused with Small XP boost, which you also unlock multiple times on your season rank. Small XP boost improves your own XP gains, and Small Fireteam XP boost improves your friends' XP gains if they're in a Fireteam with you. There are only 4 levels of Small Fireteam XP boost to be gained, but every little bit does help. If you're in a Fireteam with other people, check right here on your Guardian to make sure that Shared Wisdom, aka Small Fireteam XP boost, is in effect. What that all all translates to simply is never turn in bounties if you're alone. Ever. If you do turn in bounties when you're alone, then you are unofficial dum-dum. It's okay, I've done this before and later kicked myself for being a dum-dum. Turning in bounties that grant XP while not in a fire team is missing out on literally free extra experience. Don't do this. It's free real estate. Even if you hoard a bunch of bounties for hours at a time, that's okay. Do not turn them in unless you're in a fire team with another person and shared wisdom is visibly active. Question: does the buff to shared wisdom improve the more people you have in a fire team? Answer: no. I went into a raid with a fire team of 6 guardians total, turned in a bounty, and it gave me no more experience than I had gotten with just a 2-man fire team. I mean, that would be really funny though, right? If you could just maximize potential with a private lobby of 12 guardians, but no. Bungo is too clever to let us pull some BS like that. All you need to take advantage of shared wisdom is just 2 people together in a fire team. Other question: are some fire team members better than others? Unfortunately, yes. Because of how small fire team XP boost works, if your goal is to squeeze all the milk out of that free XP teat that you possibly can, then you shouldn't be fire teaming up with someone who has a low seasonal rank. If you want the full boost of 8 extra %, you should be joining the fire team of a friend who has a season rank of no lower than 86, which is the last level of small fire team XP boost you can possibly get in the season rank. Just remember, never turn in bounties alone, dum-dum. The third thing I want to talk about, which is going to take all of 10 seconds to mention, is the Ghost Shell perk Guiding Light. Improves all of your XP gains by 10%, and yes, that includes turning in bounties. If your goal is to grind XP and you do not have a ghost on with this perk, you done effed up. Have it on at all times while in grind mode. Now let's say hypothetically you did all your big weekly bounties and all your daily bounties. You only turned in all of said bounties when you were in a fire team with a friend who was at least season rank 86 in order to take maximum advantage of shared wisdom, and you were equipped with a Guiding Light ghost the entire time. You're now done with all your weeklies and you're done with all your dailies that day. What do you do now? Well, now you should probably take a friggin' nap or go outside, but if you still want to XP grind before a fresh new wave of dailies, you can always do the classic reacquisition bounty completion over and over grind. Yes, while you don't get as much XP out of these as you do with weeklies or even dailies, eventually if you're going super balls to the wall, and especially if you're only playing 1 or 2 characters overall, you're gonna run out of weeklies and dailies. Not to mention, some dailies are easy and fast to do, but some are annoying and take a long time. If you notice that any certain daily bounties you're doing are taking way too long to the point that they might not be worth your time for grinding, skip them and do this instead. After all, if your goal is XP grinding, turning in bounties worth a bunch of XP might mean very little if they're taking you forever to complete. Plus, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just like turning my brain off and doing easily repeatable things. Basically, go to Queen Hot Topic, grab all 5 of her reacquirable bounties, go to the nearest lost sector, only so that your kills don't get yoinked by other blueberries, finish the bounties as efficiently as you can, then go back and turn them in a fire team with Guiding Light, of course. Then rinse and repeat, easy peasy. The most optimal way would be to do this with a fire team member above season rank 86, and both of you split up to do different lost sectors on the moon so you aren't ganking each other's kills. No matter what you do for XP farming, whether you're pounding weeklies or dailies or reacquirable bounties in an attempt to XP farm, don't forget shared wisdom, Guiding Light, and if you're short on time for that week, well rested. The holy trinity of XP farming, as it were, even if 2 of the methods are pretty much more important than the third. Just make sure you don't ignore them, because it is literally free. Well, you know. Thank you very much for watching, happy farming, and I'll see you next time.